The show where there are no penalties, nothing is offside, and everything is fair game. This is The Gloves Are Off.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of The Gloves Are Off. I'm your host, Adam MacVicar, and I'm joined by two brand new guests. Brand new guests, not really, but Andrew Brethauer of Lloydminster Source fame, as well as Chris King from the Lakeland Rustlers. Chris, thank you so much for taking the time out of your afternoon to spend time with me and Andrew. Not a lot of people would do that.
I'm pretty busy, but I can make time for you guys.
Oh, that's much appreciated, Andrew. That's kind of rare.
I'm stuck here, so I don't care.
That's true. Andrew actually lives here in the studio. So, well, we'll get right into it. Actually,
this is just creepy. Think of this.
Well, I mean, we can get right into it. We'll start off with some NFL football, a division that has only had one or two good teams in the last 6 years is the AFC West. Obviously, the Broncos look good. The Chargers are all right, and the Chiefs have had their on and off here. But right now, they're looking not bad at all. So I guess let's talk about this division. Who do you guys see coming out on top this year in this division?
I'm a little bit of a closet Raiders fan, so I like Carr, I like Latavius Murray. I think they've shown they're for real last year. They kind of were up and down. They'd win a game, then they'd lose a game they should win. So I like what I see out of them. I'm kind of hoping for them. Obviously, not as good as the Steelers, but we can make do.
Not as good as closet Raiders fan. I've never heard that one.
Yeah.
It's hard, though, to go against what Chiefs and Denver do because their defense is so good, and that's what wins championships is your great defenses. So, and you have to give what they've been able to do and limit teams. They have the up. They're not. I'd say Oakland's probably more of an offensive power team, whereas Kansas City is more of a game management team. So it's kind of a nice, but it's so weird when you think about last week we're talking about Dallas, and they only, now an 8-1 team, and now we're talking about in one division we have three 7-win teams.
Seven victory teams. Raiders, Chiefs, both 2 losses. Broncos have 3 losses. We could talk about the Chargers, but they're 4-6. No one's playing around with the Chargers this year. But one thing about the Raiders though, they're 5-0 on the road. So do you think that's kind of an advantage heading into the end of the season here where these are all must-wins?
It's not bad to have.
I'll tell you what, their teams are going to be copying their travel procedures, right? Going the day early or 2 days early. Whatever they're doing, teams are going to jump on that. So good for them for being 5-0 on the road.
And they're young. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
You're doing it with a young team and a young roster, and if you can do that and you're going into winning games in the NFL on the road, that's a huge thing. And then because that comes playoff time, road games matter more, so this should be it's hard. You hate to say who's going to come out of that division. You just love them just beating each other up.
The matchups between them are great, and of course they're playing this weekend the Broncos and the Chiefs. You said right. So who do you see coming out of that one on top?
I'll go Broncos. I don't know why. I'll just go Broncos.
Go Broncos. They
just have so many weapons. I think that's the. I just can't go Chiefs. I don't know why.
I hate to agree with you. Yeah, I just don't like the way the Chiefs play. It just seems like sometimes they suck the air out of it. So Broncos are a little more exciting, especially on the line front. So I'm going to go Broncos. I'm sure we'll both end up being wrong on that one. So we'll see what happens this weekend.
Bet pro line the other way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess we'll just see how it all plays out. I know it's the primetime game, right? Chiefs
got
and Broncos.
moved, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it should be a pretty good matchup, and I guess now we can move forward to some baseball. I know it's your favorite sport, Andrew. You love talking baseball, don't you?
Every week.
Well,
yep.
Edwin Encarnacion and Jose Bautista, they've turned down the 1-year, $17.5 million deal to delay free agency by a year. How do you guys see this playing out?
It's just so shocking. Didn't see this happening. Didn't see it coming. Who cares?
Yeah,
we all knew it was not going to happen. It was going to happen.
I'm excited. I'm Blue Jays fan, season ticket holder, obviously. I'm excited to get rid of Joey. I think he caused some riffles in the clubhouse. I think his defense is terrible and he strikes out too much. But I like that we get 2 compensation picks for this. I would love to have Eddie back. But I think we got some guys coming up. I like the free agent signing of Morales. I think he's going to be huge. So I like what the GM's doing. I like the pieces we're adding. Yeah, we lose 2 good stars. They're older, but we get 2 young kids that possibly could turn into something with those comp draft picks. So I'm okay with it. I think we can fill in those spots.
You can't just have this nostalgic feeling of what Jose Bautista has brought to a team. That's why you let him go. He's old. He's not the player you're going to pay that. Are you going to pay $20-25 million for what is going to be eventually a DH?
78 games is what he played or something like that,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, and injury prone, older, his stats are diminishing. Why are you going to pay this? Get someone younger in who can do that. I'd keep Edwin if you can, but even then, paying that much money for a guy who's could possibly move into a DH role himself. You're not getting, he's a first baseman. I don't know. I'm okay with both of them leaving.
Now, Edwin wants $125 million over 5 years. Is that too much? That feels like a lot.
Not happening. He's not getting that anywhere. I think if he gets a deal, it's going to be like a 3 or 4 year deal. Mm-hmm. He might get like a 75 for 4, 890 for 4, like somewhere in there. But I think 5's pushing it, right? He's getting up there, and Joey will be lucky to get 3 years. I'm interested to see where they end up. I've heard Houston, Boston sounds like they're kind of out on Edwin, maybe in on Joey now. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting the offseason.
Like if he was going to get that, he would have got it already.
Yeah.
That we wouldn't be waiting, sitting around. So the market's not there for that kind of price.
So you guys thinking Joey Bats, it's over. The era's over in Toronto. We're saying goodbye.
It's done. We're done with Joey Bats. No more fights. No more knockouts.
No more bat flips.
No
unless
more
somebody
bat
takes
flips.
over that
we
position.
will miss that.
So do you think there is success after the life of Joey Bats in Toronto?
Yeah, I like the pitching staff. I like the young guys that are coming up. I think Pompey is going to be a future star in the outfield. I'm really excited with what we have left. If you look at it, the starting rotation's intact, and that's a big piece of it. You still have Donaldson, who can be great, or could be a massive, massive trade chip here in the next year. So I like what we have.
Yeah, their lineup's solid, and they have a lot of the same. They don't need more power hitting; they need more base hitting. So
left-handed bats, yeah.
So they don't really need the same. Edwin and Joey are the same guy. They bring the same thing. So one of them can go. If you get one, great. If you don't, it's baseball. I mean, there are players.
Well, I guess my final thoughts here before we throw to break. With the Blue Jays, let's say Joey does leave, they keep Encarnacion. It's still very early, but do you see them, being a powerhouse like they were this year, next year as well?
I don't see him taking a huge step back, especially if they say keep Edwin and lose Joey. He didn't really add that much more. That's going to be like, are we looking at the Blue Jays as a ALCS team if without him? I think they're still a good enough team to make the playoffs. It's what everyone else does in baseball too. It's the rest of the division, not just what Toronto's going to do.
I think they'll be in the mix for playoffs. I think they're marginal right now. You lose Eddie hurts. That hurts, no question. Joey's production isn't there defensively. He's terrible. So I think you could easily put that in. Bigger problem is you got to get rid of Upton. He's useless in the lineup. Strikes out a ton. Way too many strikeouts with this lineup. So I think they'll be there in the playoff stretch. It's all about who plays hot, though, August, September. So we'll see.
All right, well, looking forward to that season, and I guess we'll be right back after these messages.
That's terrible.
Welcome back, everybody. And our next topic, we're going to start off with the hippest town in the United States. We're going to talk about Seattle. They're the home of the Seattle Seahawks and the Mariners, correct? But other than that, no other teams. But this week, Russell Wilson joined an investor group to build an arena to bring an NBA and NHL franchise to Seattle. I think, NBA, the Supersonics, they were there until 2008. They became OKC. But an NHL franchise, that seems kind of not the right fit in Seattle. For me personally, I feel that way. How do you guys see this going?
No, it's actually a really good fit for it. Hockey is really well loved in Washington with the WHL teams there. You have the cross with Vancouver having a good rivalry. It's just no one cares till you build a rink. Like, this has been going on for 2-3 years now, and it's like, build a rink. Like LA or Las Vegas went and built a rink. Quebec went and built a rink. You're not going to get anywhere until you build the damn rink. Like, that's where we're at this point. Like, you keep talking about, we have Russell. Good. What does he do that you still don't have a physical building there for them to play in? Doesn't matter who. You can have the entire Seattle Seahawks team say they're going to back this. It doesn't matter until you have a building.
So they'll probably put them about 3 or 4 on the depth list, I think, in the NHL, like in terms of the market, right? Because they don't have that rink built yet. And on the NBA side of things, I think the NBA really wants to get back there. From everything that I read, I think you would get people there right away, but once again, the facilities are so old. And if you look at what all these new arenas are like and how they attract players and fans, it's crazy, right? You see what's happening in Edmonton right now with the Oilers. So you have to have a state-of-the-art building. Otherwise, you're not getting either one of those. I don't care which sport.
Now, if NBA does come back to Seattle, do they go back to the Supersonics, or do they do a whole different franchise, do you think?
Yeah, Supersonics, for sure they do, yeah. And I hope Sean Kemp and Gary Payton's pictures are all over everything for the marketing. I think they got to be the Supersonics. That would be awesome, I think.
For the nostalgia factor alone.
That you have to go back. You don't mess with something that's already been there. And go back to the old.
Okay. Now, an NHL fun fact before we move on to the next topic here. In 1917, the Seattle Metropolitans won the Stanley Cup. So there's championship history in Seattle. So there maybe is hope that we can get a team.
Seattle Metropolitans.
The Seattle Metropolitans.
That is another solid name.
That is, that's not a bad name. Maybe
just rolls off the tongue.
Maybe they go back and do that when they bring an NHL franchise, if they bring an NHL franchise there. I mean, Vegas got one. Seattle might.
KC has got to be ticked off. They have a rink sitting there, and no one even thinks about Kansas City as a place for an NHL
People
team.
like Kansas. People in Kansas City like hockey.
I just worry about the draws always in the U.S., right? Like that's always the thing that I worry about for hockey is it going to draw? I'm sure you could put 2 more teams in Ontario and they would still sell out, right? So you just never know with the economy, what's going on with the market in terms of hockey if there's a fan base there.
Exactly, and I would prefer to see a team in Quebec personally. Before another Canadian team, before we go and start building more in the States. Yeah. I mean, Vegas is already getting one, but the Supersonics, I'm all for.
Yeah, and for the record, Vegas is going to have the best home record in the NHL. Let's just mark that down right now.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that all plays out. But staying with basketball, though, we're going to talk some Westbrook versus Durant beef. These two, I don't know what's going. This is something I've kind of been following, on the peripherals a little bit, but who's on the right side of this beef? Beef?
You're the basketball guy.
Yeah.
I could talk about this kind of stuff forever. 2 different types of players. KD obviously is one of the best players. He has an MVP. Very unselfish player. He's been that way since college. He's going to be good for whoever he goes to, and he just wants to win. Westbrook, to me, only cares about himself and his stats and his numbers, and can only really play one way, as fast as he can, super angry, aggressive, which is fine. I don't think Westbrook's ever going to be on a championship team. That's just my opinion, just the way that he plays, and I think it makes it tough to play with him. I like what KD encompasses. I think Golden State's probably going to have to ship out someone to give him more room, but Durant's made it pretty well known, even with the national team, with the U.S. team, he just wants to be a part of the team and play, and he's obviously unbelievably skilled. That's my take on that beef. Westbrook's in the wrong, obviously.
But you got to love it, at least just from a marketing standpoint.
Drama.
Yeah. You need more, especially with that team. You want more people hating them because that's what everyone's going to go after is Golden State. Yeah. You don't want just LeBron versus Curry every year. Now you add a little bit more depth to that. You get a little bit extra to it now. Now it's interconference, not just, these guys might meet each other eventually in the playoffs. You hope, you could think the marketing minds in the NBA are hoping it's going to be,
you need something. You need the storyline.
Those two, either conference finals or division finals, something around those lines. That's where you want them to play.
And is that the new rival? Because I know Boston Lakers, that was a big rivalry for a while. There's always been a few, different ones throughout, the 80s into the 90s. But do you think this of the new era of the 2010s, this is the new rivalry? Do you think OKC versus Golden State?
I think it's like a minute in the media type of thing. Like I think it's good right now. What is Golden State up 1-0 on the season series? Yeah. I don't think OKC is good enough to push them. If OKC wins a championship and goes through Golden State, then you have something to market. But I think it's a little bit of fluff right now.
It's still the LeBron, Curry. That's the market.
That's what
you're selling. Yeah. Although remember the Reggie Miller Knicks days? Like bring those back.
Best, yeah.
That was the best. Yeah. That might have been the best rivalry.
That's
in
what you
NBA.
want. So.
Yeah. And I guess before we throw the break here, let's talk just a little bit of Rustlers. I know you guys, you guys are doing quite well this season. So what are you guys expecting heading into this weekend?
Yeah, we got Concordia this weekend. Very tough team. 8-2 right now in the season. We're 5-3. So we're working on getting better. And as Andrew knows, he covers our team a lot. Getting healthy is a big thing for us. So hopefully we're healthy for 2 games, which would be amazing. And then we can start to see what we have for our full stock of players.
You were 2 for 3 in shooting on this highlight package, by the way. So
2 for 3? Well, that's not bad. Is it me personally shooting or just my girls?
Now you're 2 for 4.
So that's pretty typical.
So that's a normal what you're seeing.
Miss a few, get really hot, and that's kind of the thing for us. We got to attack the rim more, so that's something we're looking to do this weekend against Concordia.
Okay, excellent. Well, I mean, we're looking forward to these games this weekend. It sounds like it should be interesting. So where are those games and where can people watch?
Yeah, Lakeland College home gym. You could also watch us on ACAC TV if you wish to watch the webcast. So we just upgraded all of our servers, so it should be crystal clear for everyone, and hopefully see you at Lakeland.
Excellent. All right, guys. Well, we're going to come right back for some over-under with these two guys. Stay tuned. What's going on, everybody? We're back, and we're going to play Lloydminster's favorite game show, Over Under, with these two fine gentlemen. Are you guys prepared?
I'm just going to create my own game show so I can get out of this.
I'm not prepared, but I'm ready.
Okay.
Throw it at me.
He's not prepared, but he's kind of
Sounds
prepared.
like his coaching strategies.
Okay.
Check the records.
That is true. That he has you there. He has you there.
Like 3 losses in the first semester, more than the last 2 years? Oh, okay.
All right, guys. Back to me, guys. Back to me here, guys. Jeez, come on now. All right, so Eric Lindros inducted into the Hall of Fame this week, the NHL Hall of Fame. First question for you, how many goals did Eric Lindros score in his career?
You're going first, hockey guy.
No, you go first.
Hockey guy. You got to take it first.
I'll go first. Like,
okay.
First time ever. In his career? 550.
Over, under.
Oh, my gosh. 434.
So that's under?
Under, yeah.
So that's under?
Yeah, I'll just go under, yeah.
Under?
Obviously.
It is under. So that's a point for you. He scored 372 goals in his career. So points. I lost track last week, so so he has a point now.
Yeah.
We're gonna make this
I
clear.
should have just stayed with the under over instead of specific number, yeah.
No, you still got the points. The point's still to you.
It's worth double if you go specific.
Yeah.
Now, we were also talking about Seattle sports teams earlier on. I guess now, as of 2011, how many coffee shops are in Seattle?
Oh, my God. So 7,000 Starbucks. Let's say 532.
Over, under.
I'm going to go over just for fun.
Over is correct. As of 2011, this is a real number, 1,640 coffee shops in Seattle. And it's a smaller city than Edmonton. There's only 682,000 people.
Nice.
So that's like 1 per 22 people or something like that. So that's a fun stat for you to take home. Now, next question for you. How many Grey Cups have been won by the Eskimos? I know you're a big CFL fan.
13.
13?
Yeah.
Over, under.
I do not watch any CFL, so I'm going to go under.
Under is correct. They've won 5. 5 in their franchise history. So
So
2 to 1 right now, right? Is it 2 to 1?
2-1 right here, yeah. It's on the
2-1.
scoreboard. I can see it on the scoreboard over
Okay,
there.
2 to 1. Questions for you this time, yes. What is the Toronto Blue Jays salary cap?
Oh, they just published this. I don't know, 182.
Over, under.
Under.
Under? Under is correct. 115,901,600. It's a big number.
I thought leading into next year. Okay, good. Even again.
We're tied up now. Final question. And we were talking Golden State. How many three-pointers did Curry make in his rookie year?
You know this, don't you?
No. I'm doing the math in my head quickly though right now.
240.
Over,
He's
under.
shooting.
Actually, I think you're like in the range. I'm going to say over.
You're going to say over? Andrew gets the victory. It is 166, so it was under. So Andrew wins by a
I was
point.
trying to think his second year was
I was giving him
jacked
at least
up,
3 per game. That's all.
Yeah, it was his rookie year, though.
yeah,
He wasn't like
yeah.
he wasn't the Steph Curry.
Still.
He wasn't cooking with the sauce yet. He was just Steph Curry.
He was just regular Steph Curry.
Yeah. Good for you, man.
166 though.
And he
not
beat
bad.
me on a basketball question, so I might.
That
not
is
ever-
also impressive.
Yeah.
I honestly thought he would get that one right.
No.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll never be back because of this.
Thank God.
Well, I think if we lose anybody, it's going to be Andrew first. I'll be honest.
That's
Andrew.
fair.
One more week.
So I guess that means you get the sound off in the next segment. Do you know what you're going to be talking about? Do you know what you're going to be
We'll
saying?
figure it out.
Figure it out. You got a few minutes. You got a few minutes to figure it out. So I guess we'll be back in a few minutes for Andrew's sound off. See you in a bit. Welcome back, everybody. And Andrew Soundoff will have to wait because, of course, we have Fair or Foul next. How could I forget that? This is my absolute favorite part of the show. So I guess we'll get right into it here, fellas. My first statement here that you have to give a fair or foul to, agree or disagree, is the Blue Jays don't make it past the first round next year. I'll start with you, Chris. Fair or foul?
Foul. I think they're next year might be the year. I think they're destined.
Wow.
Yeah. Obviously a hardcore fan, but yeah, I think they got a shot still. I think one little missing piece could be the difference.
I think they get by the first round. Are we talking like wild card game again, or first?
No, first real.
I think they get by the first round again. I think they should. You gotta figure eventually it's gonna get over the hump. But
it's got to ride Sanchez.
it's either they're not making it at all, or they're going to the World Series. There's no in between.
I'm going to the World Series. You mean?
Are you gonna buy your tickets this year?
Yeah.
Would you go? Would you buy tickets?
I already have my tickets. They're bought. It's done.
It's done.
Going.
God, World Series. I think I'd go. I've been to one.
I've lived in Ontario for 27 years. I haven't gone to a single game.
Really?
No.
Dude.
I slept on the floor though. Odd story, yes, but I slept on the floor.
At the dome?
Yeah, at the Sky Dome.
Sounds like a sleepover story. Maybe save it for another show.
Yeah, it's true. Post show.
That's a dark late night.
Yeah, the post show.
Yeah.
Not safe for TV. Right on. Well, next statement for you guys. Obviously, the Hall of Fame induction ceremony was this week. Plenty of big names in there as well. Of course, I mentioned Eric Lindros, one of them. But now, Teemu Selanne is eligible to be into the Hall of Fame. I guess next year. I guess he's eligible. So, Teemu Selanne, first ballot Hall of Famer. Fair or foul?
Fair, without a question. Won't even have to wait. He could be a strong class, and he'd be probably one of the tops of the class.
Yeah, I agree 100%. He was awesome to watch. Growing up, he was easily one of my favorite players. He should be in for sure.
And he was still good when he was older. That's the other thing. He wasn't not like he ever he maybe dropped off, but he probably could have been like the Jaromir Jagr of Finland.
That is true.
I was thinking that in my head actually. Yeah.
Favorite version of Teemu though? Jets Teemu or Ducks Teemu?
Ooh, that's hard.
Jets for me.
Classic.
Yeah.
Class of the firing the gun.
Yeah.
You can't miss
The
that.
Sellies.
Can't miss that up. So
What about Colorado?
no one remembers.
No one remembers that was there because guess what? I didn't. I just got it in my ear just now about Colorado. So yeah, no one remembers Colorado Teemu. It's either Ducks or Jets.
That was like a year.
Yeah, it was. It was only short. He was only there for just a little bit.
Didn't he go to San Jose? Can't remember if he did.
I don't know. I'm just sticking with Winnipeg, man. Everyone loves Winnipeg.
Yeah, it's a classic team. Well, that's fair or foul. And Andrew Soundoff, the much anticipated Soundoff, is coming up next. Welcome back, everybody. And now our final segment here is the Sound Off. Andrew, you won the over/under game, so I guess you get the free mic right now. What's going on?
Oh, good. Yay. Oh, we got your Rustlers are 14th now. Not
Yeah.
yours, sorry.
Yeah, ours.
You'll
We're
get-
all together.
You'll get there.
Women's volleyball.
Women's volleyball team 14th ranked in the country just this week. First time they've reached the rankings this year. So great for them. They're in top this weekend in Keanu, so that'll be interesting games. Other games on, we got obviously our football. Our Bantam Chargers our Mustangs, are going to Lethbridge for the first time ever playing provincial final. Holy Rosary is in Edmonton, and the Barons are up in Grand Prairie. So lots of football this weekend, away from home unfortunately, but hopefully they'll do successfully well and bring back provincial titles. That'd be kind of nice.
And of course, locally also, besides the Rustlers, we also got the Bobcats playing as well this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who they got?
Who did they got?
They have a
Canmore
home and home. Yeah.
Canmore and Calgary.
Yeah.
Nice.
My Canucks, my team.
Calgary Canucks.
Yeah, my
That should be an interesting
team that
game,
makes
but-
everybody hate me even more.
Well, I know for a fact I'm probably going to head down to Lakeland and watch some games here. But that's actually all the time we have for today. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this panel on the show, and we'll see you guys next week.